of the night. Darrell, what Sterling Marlin did just that then, pinning Jeff Gordon a lap down, is something we were talking about in Michigan, about who you need to race and who you don't amongst those lapped cars.
Yes,
or
sir.
tail end of the lead lap cars.
Sometimes it's okay to slow down and let a guy back because you know he can't beat you. But when you got somebody like Jeff Gordon who was leading the race up, they had trouble. You don't let him have a lap back if you can help him.
I would have to say we just had talked about almost 30 laps on this run. We will see most of our leaders to pit road for 4 tires. Because from here you could do it on one more stop as well.
And I'm sure there's lots and lots of guys that are thinking that very thing. Give me 4 tires, top me up real good here. Let me see if I can make it on one more stop.
This time by will complete 60 laps. 100 to go.
Because we've had so many cautions here early on. Now the field's bunched up again. We're going to have some pretty tight racing. But as they were spreading out there, you know, the racing is not so hectic. And you can start thinking about making it on one more stop.
Let me tell you what else is going to be hectic. We're going to have 35 cars all on pit road at one time. All the leaders. Dick Burton.
Rusty Wallace is going to take 4 tires in his car. He is very pleased with the way this thing is running and has called for no changes on it whatsoever. He has said, however, that in his opinion, the 88 Jarrett may have an engine problem. Wallace still in the pits right now. First of the leaders to Steve.
Well, Dick Sterling Marlin wants his car tightened up just a little bit. He'll get 4 tires, 1 pound out of the right rear, and a round-up wedge to Matt Yoakum.
Tony Eury Jr. is already hitting the lugs in the left front. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is down the way with a 4-tire change. He's not going to beat the 15 on. Dale Jarrett, the 88 car, was a little bit tight. He took a half a pound of air pressure out of both left side tires.
Pit stops completed. Michael Waltrip leads the charge off pit road. And trouble on our Daytona 500 pole sitter, the leading rookie, Jimmy Johnson.
Looks like they're working on the right front fender. Got some damage over there. Putting a Band-Aid on it, trying to.
There's the 2 winners off pit road right there. Those DEI cars. Michael Waltrip in the 15, Dale Earnhardt Jr. in 8. We'll look at the race at the end of pit road. There you see the stripe.
And that's where they measure who beats who back onto the racetrack. That's where the field is frozen. We're under caution. We'll be right back.
The Pepsi 400 on Fox is brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge. By Smirnoff Ice, intelligent nightlife. By Napa Auto Parts. Napa, we keep America running. And by your neighborhood 7-Eleven store. Oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven.
The 5th caution flag of the night came out of lap 59 when Kenny Wallace cut down a tire and hit the wall hard. Leading rookie Jimmy Johnson has damage to his car, and they're making repair panels down behind the pit wall. Steve Burns.
Well, Mike, as the crew works on the right front, a replacement piece for the right front, we'll talk to crew chief Chad Canals. Chad, tell us about the damage.
The 43 car checked up early on in that run, and Jimmy ran into him and knocked a big hole in the right front there. You know, we're concerned about losing too much track position, but we also got to get the car fixed.
We see the crew working on a replacement piece. Will you have to put it back on?
We'll kind of see what happens here. Jimmy's trying to talk to me here. We're going to see what happens here, you know, see how the car handles. We got most of the hole patched up, but, you know, we just have to see what happens. I don't know yet. How's that?
Let's go back upstairs to Mike.
Now, as the caution wave for Kenny Wallace in turn 4, let's ride with Jeff Gordon, who was trying to get a lap back from leader Sterling Marlin, and listen to his spotter, Ron Field.
The down cautions are out for a wreck off the turn 4. 1 car incident. See if you can get back by them leaders.
All right, this is what you call a move of desperation by a guy that's won a lot of races. But I got to get by you guys. I got to get that lap back. And I'm sorry if it made you mad.
Excuse me, pardon me. Gotta go.
I've got to go now.
We're set to go back to green. At lap 63, Michael Waltrip leading Dale Jarrett. Waltrip's teammate, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Point leader, Sterling Marlin. So it's Chevy, Ford, Chevy, Dodge. Then Rusty Wallace, Jeff Burton, Dave Blaney in Fords, Bobby Hamilton, Mike Skinner in Chevys.
Well, if you were here last July, this could spell trouble for everybody with that 15 and 8 up front.
Here you see on the Fox tracks, Michael Waltrip, the leading the race right now, brings him down almost 70 miles an hour. You saw Kevin Harvick back in 20 at the pole sitter at about 75 miles an hour. He was lagging back and getting a run.
The biggest mover on pit stops, that Robbie Reiser-led crew for Matt Kenseth. Kenseth came in 21st, came out 14th.
Yeah, but, you know, he's got a lot of body damage on the left side there from that earlier incident. They probably need to stop in the pits there and work on that a while.
A 2-lap penalty now on Kurt Busch, and the number 97 being held in the pits. And a correction on the earlier NASCAR report on injuries. Billy Kerwood, the tire changer, is being x-rayed at the care center in the infield. It was Johnny Benson who, with the 2 cracked ribs, was transported to Halifax Medical Center. Well, fellas, it's our last Winston Cup race of the season on Fox. NBC TNT take over next week. No, we haven't done yet tonight.
Crank it up. 20,000 horsepower.
Wide open.
Fury of Winston Cup racing. 4th of July fireworks of a different kind.
Yeah, I don't know what you call that, but I call that music.
I love it.
Big loser on their round of pit stops was Ricky Rudd, who came in 11th and came out 17th.
And then everybody else 2 by 2.
We need to document the reason they're holding Kurt Busch on pit road this time in the 97 car is he moved up the pit. He passed cars before coming to pit road.
And under caution, you cannot do that. Now here's Rudd trying to regain lost ground, and right behind him, the 25, last night's Busch Series winner, Joe Nemechek.
And he started dead last, but I found out why. They changed gears before qualifying, didn't put enough lubricant in the gear. He had a fast race car in practice, and he told me, watch me, I'll be good tonight.
Well, if he's anything like he was last night, he'll be awesome.
Kurt Busch has been released by the NASCAR officials back onto the racetrack. He is 6 laps down and without benefit of the draft.
And that's 2 penalties tonight. Remember, he ran the stop-and-go paddling earlier, and I think back to Lowe's Motor Speedway. Had a great race car, but had penalties on pit road.
He's just not getting the message yet. But nights like tonight, he'll get it sooner or later.
Teammates, Michael Waltrip and Dale Earnhardt Jr., who have finished 1-2 here in that order and in the reverse order.
This is deja vu right here, all over again.
Driving for the team started by the late Dale Earnhardt, who picked Steve Park as his first Winston Cup driver. And then Dale Jr. moved up from the Busch Series, and Michael Waltrip came aboard. Dale's widow, Teresa, now owns and runs this team, and has to be pleased to see 2 of her drivers out front at 68 laps.
Well, I'm particularly impressed with the job my brother has done the last several weeks, guys. I mean, he's been in the top 10 just about everywhere we've been the last several weeks. Now front tonight.
I tell you, Mike Skinner, that Ford car, boy, he shot the hole up through the middle without a lot of help. They were 3 wide. He said, boys, you're not peeing them in the middle here before we get to turn 3. And he shot the gap.
Sometimes you look around and see who you're racing with and decide maybe you ought to let off and let them go on. Cars
trying to sprint away from the field. Behind them, about 25 trying to run them down. 70 laps complete next time by in the Pepsi 400 on Fox. .73 laps complete of 160. Michael Waltrip leading his teammate Dale Earnhardt Jr. in Chevrolets. Sterling Marlin, the point leader in a Dodge. Rusty Wallace, who's never won a big race at Daytona, in fourth in a Ford, and Dale Jarrett fifth. Let's go on board Sterling Marlin.
Hey, listen, we done got our 5 points now. Done led some laps, so let's be smart here. And from what I'm seeing right now, we ain't going to have a heck of a lot of friends at the end. Unless some Dodges make some big gains. So we need to find somebody that's going to work with us and be their buddy.
What I like about that, I mean, that's good information for Sterling because it's something to think about at the end of the race. But I liked how calm he was, Mike. I mean, he's sitting there. He's not excited. I mean, the car obviously is doing a great job. And look at this.
Tony Santanicola, the engine builder. You know, Steve, why is he carrying the carburetor?
Mike, I cannot answer that question, but I can tell you this, that Sterling Marlin also told his spotter, Lauren Renier, go over to the 2 spotter and ask him why Rusty won't run behind us. The answer was that Rusty's running a little bit hot, so occasionally he'll dart from side to side just to get some air to the radiator.
Yeah, I mean, they build motors for several teams. They obviously have Sterling Marlin. They have Jimmy Spencer. You know, maybe what they're complaining about, the thing's missing or something, and they're anticipating maybe changing the carburetor would fix a miss. Maybe it feels like it's surging or something.
Yeah, and that's the standard answer from another car when you ask them to run behind you. I can't. I'm running hot.
Well, the only Dodge that's in a position to help them is Ward Burton, the number 22 in 9th place. He's not near close enough to help Sterling. We've got a long way to go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, folks, don't get comfortable now, because just because we're spread out a little bit here right now, I guarantee you things will pick up here in a little bit.
Guys, how about that yellow car on the bottom right there? Dave Blaney in the 77 car. I mean, this is a single car operation. Ryan Pemberton, the crew chief, they do use Jasper Penske engine, but I mean, he started back in 30th, and his best restrictor plate finish ever is 17th, and he's been running in the top 10 for the last 40 or 50 laps.
Well, I think the way we see Rusty's car running, Ryan Newman's been up there. They got the same power, and I think that's the key to their success here this weekend is that power they got under the hood.
Now here's Rusty, who started 37th. He's up to 4th. Blaney,
4 mics back. 2 wide behind you.
Blaney started 30th. He's up to 5th. Doesn't matter where you start here, does it?
Oh, no. Starting in the back is not a bad thing. It's kind of like coming up on the interstate and you got 5 lanes there. You just pick the one that's moving. And you just keep moving up through there until you get to the front.
Ryan Newman started 39th. He's 7th. Ward Burton started 41st. He's up to 9th.
I'm pretty impressed with Ward Burton. I mean, he's hanging in here. Not in too bad a shape right now. Mark Martin's right in that mix.
And Mark's up to 9th, started back in 18th. Didn't sound real happy about his race car yesterday or the way it was running.
And what's happened here? This lead pack has now split. It's like an amoeba. It's divided itself in half. 5 in front, 5 trailing.
Of course, all these cars are on the lead lap with the exception of Jeff Gordon in the 24 car right there, who's fixing to be in the middle of this group. He's going to be sandwiched between teammates, Ryan Newman in the 12 and Rusty in the 2. Ryan made a good move there, though. He fell back in behind him. He didn't push the envelope on the exit of that corner.
Yeah, you know, he'd probably like to have worked with his teammate, but he couldn't. He was pinned down on the inside. But what we're going to